anything else you have to get past that? I'm trying to remember what's at the end of this hallway. I think you might need a... Yeah, I think you do need a key. Do you need a key? No, actually... Dude, would you actually make up your mind? Nut job. You do need a key. Okay. Remember if it was that door or a different one. Dumbass. Couldn't remember what a key was. Alright, so that's one of the Poes that we needed to defeat. So, if you actually went back to the main room, you would notice that the blue light is actually back there as well. Now, fortunately for the red one, he's in pretty much the exact same spot, just on the opposite side. We already saw him, so let's take him out. Take her out. They're actually all female. If you target them and then use Navi's command to get like a bio on them, they're all females. I'll show you for this one right here. But yeah, they're Poe sisters. They're all girls. Let's see. One of the Poe sisters. Aim for when she appears. I want to try with arrows this time and see how many arrow shots it takes, because otherwise I might just do this. Yeah, it's going to take 4, so with a jump attack it'll take less, plus you're not wasting your ammo. No, it takes 5, jeez. I'm definitely going to stick with the jump attack then. Yep, 5. Okay. I thought it was 4. No, it takes 5. But they usually drop arrows, and they always have arrows nearby in the pots in these rooms, so you at least have that to go on. I'm going to take these so I can get my arrows back, because... Unlike the upgrades for all the other stuff where I said it's kind of overkill, it's not overkill for the bow and arrow at all to get both the upgrades. But here's one of our small keys. That one's dropped by one of the Poe sisters, so you will need that. And actually, no, you do need one more key. Like I said, there's 4 keys in the dungeon. Actually, no, there's 5 keys. Including the boss key, there's 5 keys. Now, you could use the key to go through that locked door we saw and continue, but the room right after it also has a locked door. So you might be thinking, okay, well, which way do you go? Do you go back to the main room? This is the part that threw me for the longest time. It's like, do you go back to the main room? Where's the last key? Is it one of the other doors? No, it's not. If you remember this twisted corridor, there's actually an eye switch here, and there's also, if you look on the wall back here, I'll go ahead and show this. If you look on the wall right here, that right there is actually the boss key right there. That's what the treasure chest for boss keys look like, and they always look like that. So you have to be able to get that. You can't walk on the wall. This isn't like Twilight Princess, the Iron Boots or anything, is it? No, it is not. There's an eye switch right here you can get with the bow and arrow. That's probably why they eliminated the slingshot, not just for the bow and arrow, but so you couldn't cheat out that part. And that will make the corridor straight. And you can pick up the boss key and also continue and get the other key. That threw me for quite a while. But that's what you gotta do. Also, keep in mind, each time you leave and exit this room, like all enemies, the wall masters are going to reappear. They can't get you in a cutscene, obviously, but just keep in mind that he's gonna be there again. But there's the boss key, so we can get inside the boss chamber now. Let's go ahead and jump down here to deal with the bubble to progress. Oh, 2 bubbles, excuse me. Now we can progress. That was such a clever and devious trap. However, will I get through it? Quite easily, actually. There we go. Destroy him. This wall always bothered me right here. Like, there's nothing here, and I never knew why that little gap was there. But there is something in this gap, and it's a tiny little room. And this is actually a different enemy from what we saw. This is a floor master. So, what this one will do is it doesn't ever jump up like that. What it does is it tries to attack you with that little attack right there where it turns green. Whenever it turns green, it's actually invincible and you can't do anything to it. Once it's defeated, it will split into 3 of those little smaller floor masters. And you have to kill all those as well in order to fully defeat it. If not, then what they'll try to do is they'll try to latch onto your face and drain your magic. And yeah, that's actually what they do, is they latch on your face. I'm not making that up. But if they drain your magic, then they'll switch back into being a fully fledged floor master, so... You've got to defeat both of the stages, and you have to do that for both the key and for getting, getting back out of the room, since the room locks behind you. This will drop us back in the main room, where we're going to head back there. This is another spot that kind of got me a little bit as well, because while it looks like you're taking the same path, the way to actually get back is to twist the corridor again. Because we went from twisting it to straightening out, but the door that was locked, the pathway that we had to go to get to the locked door is where it was twisted, not where it was straight. Otherwise, we would just be looping in circles, going into that one room where the two bubbles were over and over. And I don't know why that got me for the longest time, but it did. This was the first Zelda game that I ever played all the way through, so that's probably why, but... Dude, you get out of here. But yeah, you're gonna have to twist this back again in order to be able to get through to those next locked doors, because we still have 2 more Poes we need to get. Getting to this third one's the biggest obstacle, though, because the first 2 are kind of right next to each other, really. The third and fourth one are the same way. So hopefully everybody's doing alright. I don't remember if I tried to mention this in this episode or the last one. I got distracted by the dungeon, but either way, by the time this goes up, I'll already be back in classes. This is the 11th. It's like 3 in the morning here on the 11th, which is a Sunday. For those of you that want the official date, it is January 11th, 2015. But either way, I'll be back in class tomorrow. Tomorrow's my first day for spring semester of sophomore year. So these are going to start going up during my during my classes. So probably what I'm going to do is like try to record 5 or 6 videos during the weekends and get them all edited and ready, and then I can just post them during weekdays, and I'll try to do it in the afternoon. So yeah, here's the other locked door that you need the second key for. But that's what I'm going to try to do as best I can. Now we've got to hit this switch, which this one's frozen, so you have to shoot it like that whenever you're going through, or yeah, whenever the sight on it is going through the torch and you make a fire arrow of sorts. And that will actually twist the second corridor that we were in, the one with the green bubbles, and that had the lock thing at the end of it. So now this corridor is twisted instead of being straight, and this is where we need to go to get the last, or not the last Poe, the third Poe. This room also has a wall master in it if you're listening to Navi, so watch out for it as well. Look out! The ceiling is falling down! Oh no! That's terrible. What's over here, out of curiosity? Oh, there must be a way to go back to the main area. Oh gosh, I thought you were in a different spot. I don't want the ceiling to crush me. You can get these guys with arrows if you want. You don't have to, though. You will have to hit that switch, though, because in order to hit that switch, or when you hit that switch, it will cause the pathway to appear, so you do have to actually do that. And you can see the shadows of the skull chills. I just couldn't see that one because that was kind of a dark area. That treasure chest right there has arrows in it. I'm going to ignore it because I don't need those. And this Poe is a little bit different from the other 2 that we've already fought. This one actually drops a block puzzle for you. I don't know why they thought that was what they wanted to do, but that's what they did. And you have to solve this within a limited amount of time. It's pretty obvious what it is. It's obviously the same picture on the wall. That one that's got the blue flame right there is not even part of the puzzle. It's only 4 blocks, so you can just take that one out of the picture if you want to. Both figuratively and metaphorically. Regardless, they give you more than enough time to do this. If you fail it, they basically flip the blocks over to where you're going to have to redo the puzzle. But the format for the blocks is always the same on the first go-around. They always drop them in the same spot, and I always believe they always flip them in the same direction, so it's relative to how close or far away you were from solving the puzzle the first time. That will base how close you are to completing it, but they give you enough time to do this. I'm not doing a very good job, but you definitely have enough time to get it. You should be able to do it with about 15 seconds left. I didn't do a very good job, so... No, I said I wasn't going to do it this time. There's one. too. Yeah, this feels a lot more natural to me than arrows does. Or using arrows does. Don't know why, but it does. There goes the third one. That one doesn't cause the treasure chest to appear, but that's fine because we have all the keys, including the boss key. Got the map, got the compass, got the dungeon item, we got everything we need. We just have to get to the boss room now. I'll go ahead and grab that heart. Hook shot because I don't want to waste ammunition on the arrows. Not that it matters because it's just one arrow, but still. The fourth Poe is actually in the main room, and you can't get this one until the other three have been caught, so fair warning about that. This last one, what he'll do, or she'll do, is split into 4, and then one of them will rotate like that one did just there. So you want to get to the very center right here where you can see them all, and then hit the one that's the actual Poe. Oh, this is miscalculated. It's kind of hard to tell in that cutscene sometimes. But once you get them with the arrows, because you can only get them with the arrows with a hook shot, then you'll just repeat the process over and over. That's it. I can show with a hook shot if you want, but yeah, it works with the hook shot too. So if you don't want to waste the arrows, then you could do that as well. I think the damage on them is the same, so since this isn't especially hard, it's fine if you don't want to waste the ammunition. I wouldn't blame you. There you go. Thanks for the arrows and the awful looking cutscene there, because it was like going in a wall. But once that's the case, all 4 of the Poes have been caught. So now we can head down here into the elevator that was here at the start. We've got one final thing to do, which is this little puzzle right here, before heading on to take on the boss. This puzzle is very, very simple though. Pretty much you could just rotate the block by pushing on it. You can't pull it, you have to push it. And just keep pushing it into one general direction over and over, and eventually you're going to solve the puzzle. This spot right here just has arrows. This treasure chest also has arrows in it. This is just for Gold Skulltula. But I'll take the bundle of arrows. Thank you. I know there was other tokens in the dungeon, but really I hardly ever go for the tokens unless they're just, you know, the spot I was already headed. Is there anything? No, there's not anything there. Okay. There's only openings in 2 spots. One of them, and since they always rotate, the whole thing rotates, they always stay in the same spot relative to each other. So you can just check both of them, and then if there's nothing there, there's nothing there. What we're looking for is a switch, and it's going to be on a spot that doesn't have the blue or red carpet at first. That's not it, which means it's probably on this side, isn't it? Yes, it is, right here. And stepping on that will cause the bars to rise in an area that's got red carpet, if you noticed right there, so we'll have to push the blocks until they reach the red carpet. And once we do that, we should be able to progress. Now they're on blue, and then they'll be on the kind of sandy white color. One more time to put them on red. And there should be one of these two. Not that. Well, no, it is this one. So step on that. That causes the blue one, the one where the blue carpet is, to appear. See, this isn't a hard puzzle. It takes a little bit of time, but it's not hard. Like, there's nothing difficult about this. And once you step on the last switch here, I'll open the other one that has the blue thing, which is directly across the way to the north, and that will take you to the boss room. And once again, you have to have the boss key to get in here. As you can see, the door's locked this time, but since we do have it, it's all good. Let's go take on our boss. So yeah, it took 2 videos, but that's alright. Even without that screw-up, it would have taken, because I'm at 40 minutes now, even without the screw-up, it would have taken more than 1 video. So head in here, and then you might have to look around a little bit, but then once you try to leave is whenever you actually activate the boss fight here. With Ganondorf! Yeah, we're already fighting Ganon? Well, kind of. Not really. To me, this fight's actually harder than Ganon, which doesn't say a lot, but this is actually Ganondorf's shadow, also known as Phantom Ganon, the evil spirit from beyond. Now, this boss fight has 2 stages to it. This first one, he will run into the painting, along with his horse. And you're going to have to look around in the paintings and watch for Ganondorf to appear. Now, one of them will always be a fake, and there's only two that will appear. One will be a fake, like that one, and one will be the real one. You have to shoot the real one. If you just wait till he comes out of the painting like that to fire at him. If you miss, he'll usually fly overhead in an arc and drop a bolt of lightning down just on the ground, and you will or will not get hit, just kind of relative to where you are. Yeah, so I got hit right there, so I'm going to move slightly over. The only way that I've noticed to tell between if it's the real Ganondorf or real Phantom Ganon or not is the real one seems to have a little bit lighter colors on him and the horse, like on the armor for him. That's how I've been able to tell. But you only have to hit him 3 times in this phase. It's not incredibly difficult. It's the second phase that is, I'm not even going to say difficult, it's more so annoying. Yeah, this is the real one here. There we go. And once that's the case, he will abandon the horse and just fight you in a true game of ping pong. So what he's going to do is he'll fire a shot at you like that, and you have to bounce it back at him. The problem is, sometimes the angle doesn't work as well as it should, and so it'll just kind of bounce off in a random direction. You don't have to aim it or anything. It should auto-aim, but it doesn't ever do that. So. And you might have to hit it back a couple times, which is why I say it's ping pong. And depending on how many times you hit it back and forth will depend on how many, or how long his stun is to where you can hit him how many times, so. The more you hit it back and forth when he actually gets hurt by it, the more that you'll be able to attack him once he actually does fall down to the ground. Oh, come on, really? Why did it slow down? It should always be speeding up. But yeah, not hard, it's just annoying, because stuff like that will happen right there where it just flies off, and it's like, what? Yeah, this should get him right here. If not that jump attack, then it would have been the rest of that stun, because that stun would have lasted longer than I just hit him. You know, whenever you just hit it right back and he just gets hit by it immediately. Hey kid, you did quite well. It looks like you might be getting some slight skill. Apparently Ganondorf knew we were turned into an adult. But you've defeated only my Phantom. When you fight the real me, it won't be so easy. Yeah, you're right, it'll be even easier. What a worthless creation that ghost was. I will banish it to the gap between dimensions. You mean the spot you're going to get banished at the end of the game? That works for me. So with that, the Forest Temple has been completed. Grab ourselves a heart container, that'll bring us up to 12 hearts, and exit our dungeon. So, if you couldn't tell who the Sage of the Forest was, it's pretty obvious. The only one that's not incredibly obvious is really just the last one. Or second to last, depending on how you play the game. The last two, it doesn't matter what order you go in, actually, which is kind of interesting. But we'll get into that when we actually get to those last two temples. And sure enough, it's Saria. Because of you, I could awaken as a sage. I am Saria, the Sage of the Forest Temple. I always believed that you would come, because I know you. No. You don't have to explain it to me. Because it is destiny that you and I can't live in the same world. I will stay here as the Forest Sage and help you. Now please take this medallion. Man, he just got put in the friend zone. That sucks. I guess I'll have to go get Malon now. I don't care for the pairings in the Zelda universe, but really the quote-unquote one that would make the most sense would be Malon. To me, it never was Zelda, it was Malon. The only case where it was Zelda would be like Skyward Sword. You received the Forest Medallion. Saria awakens as a sage and adds her power to yours. Saria will always be your friend. Yep, see, friend zoned. People that like Link X Saria or Saria. Might as well cross it off the list now. What is that? Why did we get warped back here? Where the dead Deku Tree is anyway? Oh god! Why would you do that? Hi there, I'm the Deku Tree Sprout. Oh no, there's another one of you. Because you and Saria broke the curse on the Forest Temple, I can grow and flourish. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, alright. Hey, have you seen your old friends? None of them recognized you with their grown-up body, did they? That's because the Kokiri never grow up. Even after 7 years, they're still kids. You must be wondering why only you have grown up. Well, as you might have already guessed, you are not actually a Kokiri, you are a Hylian. I'm happy to finally reveal this secret to you. If you talk to the kids at the start of the game, too, the Kokiri kids, they'll tell you that they never age. Some time ago, before the King of Hyrule unified this country, there was a fierce war in our world. I can't make this go any faster. One day, to escape the fires of the war, a Hylian mother and her baby boy entered this forbidden forest. Yeah, it's supposed to be forbidden for anyone to enter except the Kokiri, and the Kokiri can't leave the forest because they'll die if they do. Their mother was gravely injured. Her only choice was to entrust the child of the Deku Tree, the guardian spirit of the forest. The Deku Tree could sense that this was a child of destiny whose fate would affect the entire world, so he took him into the forest. Though the thing about them not being able to leave except for they die, that's actually not true. I'm pretty sure it's a rumor, and the reason why is because you see them outside of the forest in the credits. After the mother passed away, the baby was raised to Kokiri, and now finally the day of destiny has come. But yeah, like, if you talk to the... You are a Hylian and we're always bound to leave this forest. But yeah, if you mention stuff like that as a kid, they'll be like, yeah, you can't leave, you'll die if you do. But I think it's just like a rumor to prevent them from leaving because this place is safe whenever you're a kid. So you must save the land of Hyrule. Now, break the curses on all of the temples and return peace to Hyrule. Well, that wasn't too bad. I'm at 48 minutes pretty much, which is 25 minutes for 2 videos, so that's not too bad. But now that we've taken care of that, it's actually all like it was, you know, back when we were a kid. It's not all dark outside. The monsters are all gone. The Kokiri kids are back out. As you can see, here's one right here. So, like, they're all out and about again. So, peace has been returned to Kokiri Forest now. So you might be wondering where we're heading next. Well, if you wait for Navi to show up with the Hey Listen command, she'll actually let you know the next area you need to go to is the Fire Temple, which is obviously near where the Gorons live. So, we will be heading to the Fire Temple in the next episode. I'm not going to worry about getting the 4th bottle for a while. I might go do the, yeah, well, since that's on the way, I'm going to do the upgrade for the arrows, or the first upgrade, because the second one's going to be a while before we get to do that, so I'll get the first upgrade for that. I'll do the bottle eventually, but it probably won't be for a while, so just a fair warning about that. So, the last thing I want to show before we head off here, because we probably have just enough time to do this. You can pick this up at any time, and it's not required. I'm just going to go ahead and get it now, so I don't have to worry about it. And this is not going to take long. There's not like a mini game or anything here. This is really, really short. You can do this after you've completed the Forest Temple. In fact, I don't think this is required for any point in the game at all. It just makes traveling faster because it's a warp. Because as I mentioned, normally Sheik visits you each time and gives you a song that will enable you to warp to whatever temple you're about to enter. So, you know, like the Minuet of Forest. But there is no actual dungeon in the Temple of Time, which is the Light Temple. So, we're going to head back here and get the song from Sheik. Because now, if you remember as a kid how each time you reset the game, it took you back to Kokiri Forest in your house, which I actually didn't show what the prize was in there. Well, I'll go ahead and tell you what the prize was. The prize is actually a cow is inside of your house now, so you can get milk from the cow anytime you want. It's kind of dumb, but it's there. You destroyed the wicked creatures that haunted the temple and awakened the sage, but there are still other sages who need your help. In order to awaken all the other sages, you must become even more powerful. You must travel over mountains, underwater, and even through time. If you want to return to your original time, return the Master Sword to the pedestal of time. By doing this, you will travel back in time 7 years. And you will actually have to do this at some points if you're going for 100%. And you will have to, I believe, yeah, it is required for the rest of the game too. The time will come when you have to return here quickly. I will teach this to you for when that song comes. The song to return you to the Temple of Time, the Prelude of Light. But yeah, anyway, as I was saying, as a kid, you always returned back to your house whenever you like reset the game or turned it off and back on or whatever. In the whenever you're an adult, you actually get returned here to the Temple of Time. But this is the Prelude of Light. Which I'm not a big fan of the song, but whatever. And we have learned the Prelude of Light. So we got quite a few songs now in this one recording session for 3 videos. All we're missing is the warp songs now for the other 4 temples that we have not yet visited. So with that taken care of, I think we're going to go ahead and end this episode off here. So, next time on Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, we are headed off to Death Mountain through Kakariko Village in order to progress onto the story more and get started on that fire temple. So, I will see you guys then.